Hello there dear YouTubers, my name is King1993 and today I'm gonna try my best to tell you how you can save your resin and time by making sure that you do not get the following artifact set, because the following artifact set which I'm gonna mention right now are the most useless of them all, which is my opinion, that is, but it may also help you solve your problem when it comes to your time and resin. So without further ado, let's get started. Now the first one which I highly do not like is the blizzard share. Now why do I do not like the blizzard share? That is because in the blizzard share 2 pieces set, it is actually beneficial to get, because in the 2 pieces set at least you are getting 15% of cryo damage output, but at the 4 pieces set you are not getting 15% any percentage of cryo damage output. Rather what you are getting is the critical rate output. Okay, now if you have high critical rate but not high amount of critical damage, then obviously this is not good. Not only that, the chances of getting the critical rate is actually very low. So when you were to compare that, the 4 pieces of blizzard share, it is actually not that much good. Rather, if you have any cryo characters in your team, then I highly suggest that you try to get only 2 pieces of blizzard share and not the 4 pieces, because the 4 pieces, as you can probably see here, actually doesn't have any type of percentage in the damage output. So I highly suggest that you do not get the 4 pieces of blizzard share. That is point number 1. Okay, the next artifact set which I do not like is the tenacity of Millilith. Why is that? Because it has a 4 pieces benefit, and that is only 20% of total damage output, and it can be happen by the use of elemental skill, but the total duration of this tenacity of melee is only 3 seconds. So I have no idea how can you do a lot of damage in a moment of 3 seconds only. Rather, I would say that this is especially good if you want to do some co-op, only then it might come in useful. But other than that, this tenacity of Lilith is something that I do not recommend. If you are a solo player, then this tenacity of Lilith is a waste of time. Rather, even if it is a co-op, I would still not use the tenacity of Lilith. Okay, the next one which I'm gonna talk about is the Wanderer's Stroke, but I'm not gonna say that this is a waste of time. Rather, what I'm gonna say that it is depending, okay, or dependable. And what do I mean by that? Well, you see, for a character such as Ganyu, if Shiminao's Reminiscence were to be given to Ganyu, then Ganyu can always outperform using the Shiminao's Reminiscence compared to the Wanderer's Stroke when it comes to charge shot only. But if you want to use this Ganyu as, let's say, for melt as well, which is practically not possible, because in order to use melt you must need to use 2 types of bow characters. Either you use 2 types of bow characters such as 1 pyro and 1 cryo such as Ganyu, or you must need to use, let's say, 1 pyro character such as Bennett in a close distance, and then go to a further distance to again perform Ganyu's attack. So based on that, it depends on you. If you want to do some elemental mastery, okay, which is obviously gonna outperform the Shiminao's Reminiscence in the elemental mastery, then this Wanderer's Stroke is a good option. And when it comes to the Shiminao's Reminiscence, that is, if you just want to do a charge shot only, okay, then the Shiminao's Reminiscence is the best one for Ganyu and not the Wanderer's Stroke. Okay, the next one which I highly do not recommend you try to get is the Thundersuda. Now why do I do not recommend the Thundersuda? Well, that is because when compared to the Thundering Fury, Thundersuda is actually the worst artifact set in the game, because at 2 pieces set you are not gonna get any type of damage output, and at 4 pieces set you are gonna get only 35% of damage output, whereas in Thundering Fury you will get a total of 55% of total damage output. Not only that, rather another important thing is, if it were to be given to characters such as Keishin, Lisa or Fischl, who can do continuous electro damage to the enemy, and also at the same time, if let's say Barbara is on the team and Barbara were to be using her elemental skill, and Keishin, Fischl and Lisa were to be hitting those enemies, or let's say instead of Barbara there is Shinkyu, okay, So what will happen is the Thundering Fury will continuously create electro charge, and whenever electro charge is used, the characters such as Keishing, Lisa and Fischl, their elemental skill cooldown will get even lowered. So as a result, what I'm trying to say that if you ever want to try to grind for any of the Thundering Fury or Thundering Suda artifacts, then I highly recommend that you do not get the Thundersuda, because it is a waste of time and upgrading is actually not worth it. Even if you have a critical something like that, unless you just want to use only one piece as a replacement, then only then this Thundersuda is acceptable. Otherwise, this Thundersuda, the 2 piece and the 4 piece are just actually waste of space and time and resin. So I highly do not recommend this Thundersuda. Now after Thundersuda, the next useless one which I highly do not recommend is the Lavawalker. Now why do I do not recommend the Lavawalker? Because Lavawalker, when compared to the Crimson Witch of Flame, you can definitely see it has a more damage output. Okay, now how do you actually know this? Okay, first of all, let's look at the 2 pieces. At the 2 pieces of Lavawalker, you are not getting any type of damage output when compared to the Crimson Witch of Flame, and at the 4 pieces you are getting a total of 35% of damage output, pyro damage output. But at the 4 pieces of Crimson Witch of Flame, if any type of elemental reaction were to happen, then you will get an extra 15% or 40% of more damage output. So obviously, when compared with the Lavawalker, the Crimson Witch of Flame is actually better than this Lavawalker. Not only that, look at the total damage percentage. Okay, now if you were to compare with this and this, then you can see the Lavawalker has a total of 35%, whereas characters such as Diluc can take full advantage of the Crimson Witch of Flame, such as 3 elemental skill will do a maximum of 150% of more pyro damage dealing on characters such as Diluc. Or for characters such as Sutao or Click, they can take about another more 55% and not 150%, because they have high elemental skill cooldown. So as a result, what will happen is Sutao and Klee should be able to take full advantage of these 55% of pyro damage output. So based on that, this Crimson Witch of Flame will always outperform this Lavawalker. And not only that, it has a duration of 10 seconds, and if Diluc were to use it, then Diluc will have a duration of 30 seconds. And not only that, Diluc will be continuously be able to do so on a regular basis. Okay, it can stack up to 3 times, and Diluc can take full advantage of this. So when compared with the Crimson Witch of Flame, Lavawalker is a piece of poop which I highly do not recommend, and it is a waste of time and crystals and money. If you use money as grinding method, is waste. Okay, so the one which I have talked about already, the Lavawalker, Thundersuda, Tenacity of Millilith, and 4 pieces of Blizzard, they are actually the worst part of this artifact set. But other than that, if you were to talk about any other artifact set, I would say that having them is actually better, because let's say for this Maiden Beloved, it does all healing, support, this retracting bolide does DPS. Not only that, it also provides a shield. This Heart of Death is actually good for characters such as Child or Barbara, because it has high amount of duration. This Archaic Petra is made in such a way that it can support characters such as Zhongli and Albedo. And this Gladiator Finale is still better than any of the other, because this Gladiator Finale increases normal and charge attack. The normal attack of any sword, claymore, or pole arm characters up to a percentage of 53%. That is still a lot. Now this Shimenao's Reminiscence is also something which is new to the game in the Inazuma section. Basically it started in the 2.0, but still after that, this Shimenao's Reminiscence is actually good, especially on Yoimiya and Ganyu if you want to use them. Okay, and this Viridescence Veneer is the best one when it comes to support, especially if you want to use it on characters such as Fenty, Sucrose and Kazuha. But you can also use these 2 pieces set on, let's say, DPS characters such as Shao, and give 2 pieces of Gladiator Finale or Shimina's Reminiscence, what will happen is Shao's overall total damage output is gonna be extremely high. Okay, now Emblem of Severe Fate are basically something that is highly recommended for two characters, and that is Raiden Shogun Ball and Ayaka, because the Emblem of Severe Fate seems to have high amount of elemental burst damage output, and since Ayaka is already a new character in the Genshin Impact gameplay, giving this another 75% of elemental burst support is obviously gonna be outperformed her by any other characters. Okay, now there is this Bloodstained Chivalry. Now Bloodstained Chivalry is also good. I want you to get them because for characters such as Xinyan, or let's say for Beidou, even though they are elemental user, but even after being elemental user, their elemental using is not that much dependable. As a result, they depend on their physical damage output mostly. So this Bloodstained Chivalry seems to be a good alternative for either Xinyan or for physical DPS Beidou. Okay, so I highly recommend that you try to give this Bloodstained Chivalry to characters who are physical damage users dependent character. Okay, now for the Pale Flame is specially made for Eula, because as you can probably see here, Eula has a cooldown duration of 4 seconds, so Eula can definitely use this in a matter of 14 seconds, and not only that, she can continuously actually take full advantage of this 118% of damage output from the Spell Flame, and she can continuously do so because of her low elemental skill cooldown. She can use it on a continuous basis. So overall, that is the whole thing about this artifact set, that you should not get 4 pieces of Blizzard Shard, this Tenacity of Millilith, this Thundersuda, and this Lavawalker. But if you were to get any of them 3 pieces or 4 pieces, they are gonna help you in the long run. Okay, what is the overall conclusion of this video? The reason I wanted to make this video because I did something stupid at the beginning part of the gameplay, and I did something stupid again at the middle part of the gameplay. Basically speaking, the game has been about 1 year, right? But despite the game being 1 year old, what happened was at the beginning part I actually didn't understood which artifact set was the best, and at the middle part, even if I had gotten the gladiator set at attack percentage at their full potential, such as level 20, what I did, I didn't knew which one was good or which one was bad, and by mistakenly I have upgraded the Blizzard Sphere 4 pieces at 100%. By doing so, I thought maybe my Ayaka is gonna be extremely high damage dealer, but when compared to some other people which I see on the internet, I always see that their elemental burst of Ayaka is actually much higher than mine. So I actually didn't know what was happening. After I had done research on this, I realized that I have wasted a large quantity of resin, large quantity of time, and a large quantity of resources such as moras and everything like that, just to get something which will not benefit me on the long run. So based on that, what I'm gonna say is, please use this chart as a definition of what would actually happen if you were to get a wrong pieces of the artifact set, because the wrong pieces of artifact set will not get you to your full potential, rather will actually harm you on the long run, as which has happened to me, and I hope that something like that doesn't actually happen to anyone else, because it is a long and grueling process of getting something, especially having only 120 resin. Having only 120 resin is not something that I like. If they had done more resin, maybe I would have not feel like this crap. Okay, so anyway, that is the conclusion of this video. If you like this video, then please give a like and subscribe and click the bell notification icons in order for you to get more of this type of content on a regular basis, and make sure to do it, otherwise YouTube algorithm will not benefit my videos, and it takes a lot of time to actually make this type of thing. Okay, so anyway, thank you, and see you again next time on some other videos. And yes, I also make Nikke Impact, Genshin Impact, and Punching Grey Raven video. You can watch those as well. Okay, so anyway, thank you.